I'm going to start the recording. In order to make these classes as freely accessible to our participants as possible, we will be using a verbal warning and assumption of risk at the beginning of class. Physical activity. Participation in this online class is voluntary. Physical activity programs may result in injury, and by participating, you assume the risk of injury that may result from your participation. We strongly recommend that you participate from a space that is suitable for this activity. For example, make sure that you've moved nearby furniture and other potential hazards. If you are participating in a class that involves lying on the ground, we recommend using a mat, or if you don't have one, a carpeted area. Participants are encouraged to stop if they experience pain or injury and should seek appropriate medical advice and care as needed. William Mary Health and Wellness strongly recommends that each participant have an annual physical examination. Follow the healthcare advice of your provider before participating. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Seated on our mat in any comfortable seat. That was my hip just cracking, so off to a great start. Okay. So any comfortable seat, you could be in cross legs, you could be sitting on your knees, just really rolling your shoulders back. Let's just take some neck circles to start. So our neck is nice and comfy when we're sitting still. Sitting up nice and tall, just gently moving your head in a circle. And then going the other way. Let's take one more of these. Coming back to center, rolling those shoulders down and back, closing your eyes. You can have your palms up or down, whatever feels better to you. Usually they say that if your palms are down, it's like you're grounding yourself. And if your palms are facing up, it's like you're receiving energy. Not sure how true that is, but whatever you want to do based on that, you can pick. Starting to notice your breath here. Relaxing your face, especially the muscles next to your eyes. Feeling your breath expanding your rib cage and your diaphragm. 360 degrees, expand and contract. Let's take one more deep breath in. Exhale, breathe everything out. Slowly start to open your eyes. Okay, bring your right ear to your right shoulder. You can extend that left hand out to the side. And you can also pull down a little bit on your head with your right hand. Coming back to center, bringing that left ear to your left shoulder. Maybe extending that right hand out and bringing your left hand up to your head. Coming back to center. This time, bring your ear towards your right shoulder again, and then look down towards your shoulder. So you're stretching a little bit of a different muscle in your neck. Good, coming up to center. Bring your left ear to your left shoulder, and then look down towards it. Coming back up to center, look down towards the ground. Interlace your fingers behind your head and very gently pull down on your neck. Just a slight weight here. Then look up towards the ceiling, opening your elbows out to the side. Then come down towards the ground. Good, inhale, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, look down towards the ground. One more time, inhale and exhale. Good, coming back to that neutral spine. Inhale your arms out and up. And And exhale your hands through heart center and down. Good. Inhale up. Exhale through heart center and down. Inhale up and stay at the top, tipping over towards either side. Bring your hand or your forearm down to the ground, stretching out your side body here, keeping both hips down to the ground, trying to extend that top arm, rolling your shoulders open towards the ceiling, coming back up to center and going over towards the other side. Trying to lift up and out of that bottom shoulder so you're never sinking into your joints. Holding here for one more inhale, one more exhale. Coming up to center, there's my dog Charlie. And coming into a forward fold, keeping your legs crossed, just going from side to side, warming up your hips and your lower back. This helps increase synovial fluid into your joints, which is like the lubrication that helps them move properly. Coming back up to center, then extending your feet straight out. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and exhale very gently. Either grab the top of your toes or place your hands next to your legs. Super gentle forward fold here, starting to get into our connective tissue before we start warming up our muscles. This can help increase flexibility because flexibility is a combination of just the range of motion of your joints, but you can't like change that as much, but the flexibility of your muscles and the flexibility of your connective tissue or fascia, you can definitely change a lot. Releasing that, coming back up to center, and then bring your feet into a butterfly. Sitting up nice and tall, then folding forward if you want to. Coming up to center, bringing your feet away from you. So now you have a diamond in between your legs. Lengthen your spine, and then round your head towards your feet. You should feel this stretch in your hips and maybe your lower back. Coming back up to center, bringing your knees together, and then windshield wipering your knees from side to side. This helps to release your hips and your lower back. Let's do one more to each side. Then coming back up to center, rolling over your ankles, coming into a tabletop. Really engaging that core, having your wrists right underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hips. Trying to keep your back straight and spread your fingertips wide. Start to drop your belly, look up towards the sky for cow. And exhale into cat, rounding your spine, looking towards your thighs. Good. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhaling, cow. Exhale, cat. Good. Two more. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. Inhale. And exhale. Coming back to that neutral spine, tucking your toes under and pressing back to a downward facing dog, pedaling out your feet here. So just bending opposite knees. You can move your hips around. You can really move however feels good to you, especially on Zoom. No one can see you, so you can really do whatever you want. Then releasing your heels down to the ground. On an inhale, coming up onto your tippy toes. Exhale, lower your heels down. Good. Inhale up to your tippy toes. Exhale your heels down. Last time. Inhale. And exhale. Looking forward towards your hands. Start to walk your feet up to a forward fold. Just hanging out here. You can bend your knees, grabbing onto opposite elbows and sway side to side. You can nod your head, yes and no. Then start to release that bind. Inhaling, halfway lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, one vertebrae at a time, coming up to standing. I know you can see only half my body, that's fine. Bring your hands up towards the sky. Then your hands into heart center. Good. Just closing your eyes here, coming back to your breath. Rolling your shoulders back. Feeling your feet connected to the earth. Feeling that micro bend in your knees. Feeling engaging your core. Rolling your shoulders back. Relaxing your face. Relaxing your jaw and your eyes. Notice the difference in your body between now and when we started class just a few minutes ago. And thank yourself for making this difference. Taking one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Slowly start to open your eyes. Inhaling your arms out and up. Exhale into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, coming back to a plank. Holding here, nice and tall, nice and strong. You're not very tall. And pulling in that core. And then bring your knees down to the ground. And then with your elbows hugging in towards your body, lower your body down to the ground as well. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra, whichever back bend feels good to you right now. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, lead with your hips, coming back to downward facing dog. Inhale, round your spine, coming forward to that plank. Then exhale, leading with your tailbone, going back to that downward facing dog. Doing two more of these. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Last time, inhale, forward. And exhale, back. This time coming all the way down to your knees for tabletop, crossing your ankles and coming back to any comfortable seat. We're going to start on our arms section of class. So we're going to really roll our shoulder blades down and back while still trying to keep your ribs kind of a little bit tucked in. And then start to lift your arms up and down. Imagine you have swan wings here. You're so graceful. We're just going to do 5 of these, just warming up our range of motion here, getting our shoulders ready. Last one. Then start to come up halfway and then lower down. Good. Halfway up and lower down. My dog likes to sleep in the sun, and that's why he's sleeping in that little patch of sunlight that's coming through the window right there. Let's lift up 2 more times. Holding at the top, we're going to go the other half of the way up and then down halfway. Good. Up to the top, down halfway. Keep going like that. Maybe you're starting to feel the burn in your shoulders. Hopefully you are. Just 3 more of these. Last 2. And last one. Good. Take a tiny little break, maybe a shoulder roll forward and backwards. Then bring your hands out like at diagonal lines coming out from your shoulders and to the sides. We're going to cross our arms over, out, and then over the other way. Going kind of fast here, making sure your arms stay super straight. These are called crossovers. Let's keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands out to the sides and draw C's in the air. Rotating your pinkies underneath when you get to the bottom. That helps engage your triceps and your shoulders a little more. Making sure your C's stay between your shoulders and your hips. As always, nice, slow, controlled movement, moving from muscle control instead of with momentum. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Bring your hands up, interlace your fingers, release them back for a tricep dip, and then press up, really engaging your triceps. Keep going like that here. Make sure you keep breathing. Try to keep your core engaged and pulled in. Just 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Bring your hands out to goalpost arms. Go all the way down nice and slowly, and then all the way back up. This is a nice slow movement. All the way down and all the way up. Keep going at your own pace. This is really good for working on your range of motion in your shoulders. Trying to keep your elbows parallel to your shoulders. Let's do 1 more. Going back up to center, and then bring your hands behind you so you can lift them up for tricep extensions, and then come back to your hips. Good, lift it up and come back. When you get to the top, really engaging that tricep. Let's do 2 more. Last one, hold and pulse higher. This is our last arm exercise. Keep pulsing for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Stretching that right arm across your body. Releasing your shoulder and your arm here. Then stretching out that tricep, bringing your elbow up. Switching sides, bringing that left arm across. Stretching out that tricep. Then coming back into that tabletop, we're going to stretch out our shoulders a little bit more by coming into happy puppy. So leaving your hips and your knees where they are, just extending your hands forward, bringing your forehead down to the ground. This pose is really good for stretching out your shoulders and also for releasing tension. Imagine all the stress from your body is leaving your forehead and going into your mat, knowing that the mat can take it and you don't need to think about it anymore. Taking 1 more breath in and 1 more breath out. Coming back up to that tabletop, and we're going to start to work out our butt. Extending that right leg behind you, bend your knee and start to pulse that leg up for donkey kicks. Really engaging that core. Either point or flex your foot. Either way, keep it super engaged. Keep going for 3, 2, 1. Then start to extend and bend. Good. Extend and bend. Trying to keep the top part of your leg exactly where it is, so just your lower leg is moving. You can always come down onto your forearms or come up onto your knuckles for gorilla fists. Either one should feel better on your wrists if this starts to hurt them. Let's do 2 more of these. Last one. Bring your knees back together, tapping your knee down on the side of your left leg, then pushing it up towards the sky. Bring your knees back together, opening it up for a fire hydrant. Knees back together, crunch it into your elbow. Good, so you're going like every direction. You're gonna tap it down on the side, lift it up to the ceiling. Bring your knees back together, out to a fire hydrant, knees back together, knee to elbow. Good, then starting over, tapping down on the left, donkey kick, knees together, fire hydrant, knees together, ab crunch thing, knees together, and start over. Keep going at your own pace here. This is getting into all the different directions you can work that glute muscle, making sure that our butts look amazing. Let's take one more of these, tapping it down on the side of our leg, extending that foot up, tapping your knees together, out to that fire hydrant, knees together, into that crunch, and back to the beginning. Just kind of take some wrist circles here, releasing your wrist for a second. We have one last glute exercise. We're going to come down onto our forearms, then extend that right leg behind us, tapping that toe down, and inhale it all the way up as much as you can, coming back down, trying not to arch your back too much, keeping that core engaged. Really focus on that place where your hamstring meets your butt muscle. That little insertion point is what we're working here. Keep lifting for 3, 2, 1. Coming back into that tabletop, we're going to do that whole thing on the other side. So that left leg comes into that donkey kick pulse here. So it starts at that 90-degree angle and you're pulsing it higher. Make sure you keep breathing here. And then start to extend and bend that leg. You can always come down onto your forearms again. Keep going for 3, 2, last one. Bring your legs together. We're going to do that combination exercise. So tapping your knee down on the outside of your right leg, and then extending it straight back into that donkey kick. Knees together, into that fire hydrant. Knees together, knee to elbow, and knees together again. And starting over. Tap, donkey kick, together, fire hydrant, together, crunch, back to the beginning. Keep going at your own pace. Don't worry if you mess up a little bit because you're still getting great exercises. They might just be different movements, but they're probably still helpful. We're going to do 3 more rounds of this. Really engaging that core, spreading your fingertips wide, pressing especially into your pointer finger and your thumb. Let's take one more round here. Good, coming back, releasing your wrists a little bit, taking some wrist circles. Then coming down onto your forearms, start to extend that left leg behind you, tapping it down to the ground, and then inhale it up. Good, keep going at your own pace, really focusing on that insertion point again. Let's take 3 more lifts. Last 2 and last 1. Good. Coming back to your knees together, pressing straight back to a child's pose with your arms behind you and your forehead down on the ground. Your palms can face up, releasing your wrist. Taking one more deep breath in exhale it all out. Coming back up into that tabletop, back into that downward facing dog. Bringing that right foot forward in between your hands to runner's lunge so that back knee is lifted. It's kind of rocking back and forth a little bit. Then start to press back into a pyramid pose, straightening both legs. Good. Inhale forward to runner's lunge. Exhale back, pyramid. Good. Inhaling forward. Exhaling back. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. Inhale forward. And exhale back. This time hopping that back foot up and in so that you can have a nice firm foundation, making sure that your feet are on railroad tracks instead of a tightrope so you have lots of space in between your feet. Trying to square your hips here by pulling that right hip back and pressing that left hip forward. Lengthening your spine on an inhale, and exhale, fold over that front leg. Good, taking one more breath in. One more breath out. Bending that front knee, start to walk your hands about a foot in front of your front foot. Then lifting your back leg up for standing splits. Just lift it up as high as you can. It doesn't have to be anywhere near the splits. It could be right off the ground. Wherever feels good to you, just lift it up. Bringing your feet together into a forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, one vertebrae at a time, coming up to standing just for a second to make the blood stop rushing to your head. Inhaling your arms up. Exhale, come back into that forward fold. We're going to step that right foot back to the back of our mat into runner's lunge on the opposite side. Rocking forward and back here. Trying to broaden your collarbones, bringing your heart through your arms. Then coming back into that pyramid. Good. Inhaling forward, runner's lunge. Exhale back, pyramid. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Let's do that 5 more times at your own pace. This dynamic movement helps to open your hip flexors and your hamstrings. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Stepping that back foot up and in, coming into your pyramid. Lengthening your spine and folding down over that left leg. Again, trying to square your hips, pulling that right hip forward and left hip back. Feeling that nice stretch on your entire back of your left leg. Bringing your hands about a foot in front of your front foot. Bring that back leg up for standing splits, just to wherever you feel comfortable. Taking one more breath in. Exhale, releasing both feet down into that forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back to a plank from here, and then back into downward facing dog. Coming forward into a plank, coming down onto your knees and into a forearm plank. Bring your hips a little bit up, so instead of being in one straight line, kind of bring your hips up in above your shoulder line. And tapping your hips down to one side, coming up to center, tapping them down to the other side. Starting to get into our ab section of class, working out our obliques for these hip dips. Your arms are also working here. Try to lift up and out so you're not dumping into your shoulders. You're like pressing the ground away. Let's do 3 more to each side. Last 2. Last 1. Good. We're going to come into side plank, bringing either arm down. Let's start with the left arm down. You can stay on your knees, or you could come onto your feet. I'm going to stay on my knees today. Bringing that right arm up towards the ceiling. And you're just going to press your hips up and down, really engaging those obliques. Really pulling that core up and in. Let's do 2 more of these. And then starting to bring that hand all the way through for a crunch and coming up to center. Good, so crunching it in, coming up to center. Let's do 3 more. Actually 5 more. Last 4. 3, 2, and 1. Good, just holding in this side plank. We're just going to be here for another second, and then we're going to switch to the other side. You definitely got it. Pushing those hips up towards the sky. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Releasing down, going straight to that other side. Remembering you can be on your feet or your knees. I'm going to be on my knees. Pressing your hips up towards the sky. I'm going to move Charlie a little bit. Then we're going to start to press our hips up and down. Good, coming into these plank hip dips. Keep going for 3, 2, and 1. And then coming into our crunches, we're going to crunch all the way through, lifting that arm up towards the sky. Good, crunching through, lifting up to the sky. Keep pressing your hips up. Let's keep going for 5, 4, last 3, 2, and 1. And then holding in that side plank, pressing your hips up, holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing down, coming down all the way to lying down on your mat. Very exciting time. Starting to bring your knees into your chest, rocking side to side here. It's always my favorite part of class when we lie down. Then taking your hands to your knees, taking your knees in little circles, helping to release your lower back. And then go back the other way. And then bring your knees to 90-degree angles. It's like you're in a tabletop, but upside down. And you're going to bring your hands straight up from your shoulders, extending opposite arm and opposite leg out, coming back up to center, and then doing the other side. Good. These are called bird dogs or dead bugs. These are super good for your lower abs. Also, any exercise that crosses the midline of your body, which this one does because you're doing opposite arm and opposite leg, is really important for not only your body, but also your mind. It engages more of your brain to have to focus on doing an opposite thing with each side of your body. Let's do 3 more on each side. Last 2. And last 1. Coming back up to center, releasing here, rolling, rocking from side to side. We're going to do one last ab exercise, and it's a roll up. So you're going to extend your arms over your head, extend your legs out on your mat, and you're going to slowly roll all the way up, touching for your toes, rolling all the way down. This is really good for your spinal mobility and also for your abs, of course. I'm trying to move nice, slow, and controlled, folding a little more each time you go up to that forward fold. Let's do one more of these. And coming back down on your mat, just extending your arms up above your head, extending your legs away from your arms, really stretching your body here. Taking one more very deep breath in. Exhale, release it all out. Pulling that right knee in towards you, rocking your knee from side to side. Holding on behind your thigh and extending that leg up towards the ceiling. Start to point and flex that foot. And then grabbing onto the outside edge of your foot, coming into half happy baby. So your knee bends towards your shoulder. Your foot is like it's making a footprint on the ceiling. Bringing your knee back to center, twisting over towards you're bringing that right knee over towards the left side. Opening that right arm out to the side, maybe following it with your gaze, coming into a spinal twist here. Coming back to center and switching legs, pulling that left knee in towards you and rocking your knee from side to side. Holding on behind your thigh and extending that foot up towards the ceiling. Pointing and flexing that foot. And grabbing onto the outside edge of that foot, coming into half happy baby. Then pulling that knee across your body over towards the right side, looking over your left side. Staying here for one more breath in and one more breath out. Coming up to center, rocking side to side one more time. You can let your head go left and right. This helps release your neck. Then bringing your feet together, knees wide. One hand to your belly and one hand to your chest. Feeling your belly rise and press that hand up towards the sky. And then fall down towards the ground a little bit. And start to press your hands into the tops of your thighs. And imagine you're like pressing your upper body away from your lower body. This helps to release the vertebrae in your lower back. You're decompressing your spine here. Then when you're ready, slowly starting to extend your arms and your legs out on your mat, taking up as much space as you need to here. Knowing that all your hard work is done and all you have to do is relax in Shavasana. Slowly start to deepen your breath, wiggling your fingers and your toes, stretching your arms over your head for one final full body stretch, hugging your knees into your chest and rolling over onto your right side, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat, crossing your legs here. We're going to take one last twist. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, twist to either side, bringing your hand across your leg. Coming back up to center, twisting towards the other side. Coming back up to center, bring your hands to heart center and closing your eyes. Thank you so much for coming and practicing with me today. The light in my heart honors and cherishes the light inside of each and every one of yours. Namaste. Thank you both so much for coming to Yogalates today. I hope you really liked it. I'm going to stop the recording now, and if you want to stay and talk to me, I'd love to talk to you. Thank you. And I'm actually